Hello everyone, I'm Chef Matt Hammerschmidt, your technology and mortgage financial means host. Today, I want to take a few seconds and say this much for you to hear and understand. Keep these views coming in. Keep recommending my videos because they're gonna help people, I guarantee it. And I'm currently 62 views at the time of the filming of this video away from being able to do that for everyone. This might not seem like a big deal of being able to hit 10,000 views, but that means I monetize. I have some more funding to be able to put into the channel and also be able to put into long-term solutions and so on and so forth. As you saw in the last video, I've hit some legal hurdles. Whilst I cannot go into detail about those legal battles per se, I can go into detail about this. I can go into detail about all kinds of crap at a later point in time, but let's touch up on that video super quickly. The investigation is still ongoing. It has no negative impact on anything that's currently going on with the YouTube channels. It's a monetary issue, and there are no criminal charges involved whatsoever. It is just an investigation into money and has only ties to my funding for the future of myself and what I choose to do with it. Now, touching bases on this topic, it ties somewhat into this because it's money. And I'm not going to be forthcoming with information at this time regarding the legal road hurdle. But what I can do is let you know when that's done what happened, what's going to happen with it, and what direction I'm going to go with it. Because a lot of things are unknown, we're just going to keep doing all sorts of stuff. So, without further ado, let's jump into mortgages and understanding them. What is a mortgage? A mortgage is a contract with an investor for the duration of the loan. Some bankers, aka investors, will let you pay it off early with no fees. Most will not. Now, we're going to keep diving into this deeper and deeper. What the hell am I bringing up a mortgage for? Well, I'm bringing up the topic of mortgage not because I cannot qualify for one currently, but because I don't want one, for exactly why I'm filming this video. Now, diving into things, first and foremost, what are the pros? The pros are you get a place to live, blah, 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 blah. The cons outweigh the pros, I promise it. You live beyond your means, you're paying Johnny Banker off, okay? Johnny Investor. For the duration of the contract mortgage. All mortgages are a contract agreement to pay money out of your wallet for the entire duration of the loan. investors and bankers are in it for the money, and therefore they have no incentivization to tell you the truth of what is within the contract. Therefore, you must read the whole thing, including the fine print, in the most literal means possible, and understand that is exactly what it means. Now, I'm going to bring in an example of another danger with loans as to what they always wind up being in the long run. So, let's say you go find a house and Johnny investor, banker, or whatever you call him, says, I can finance up to X amount. Well, what he's really doing is he's saying, I can only trust you to pay up to 2X. And if he says you got to have X amount down, what he's really saying is, I want to protect my bottom line so I don't lose my ass at the end of 30 years on this bullshit. Okay? Now, let's dive deeper in this. What in the hell is going to happen in 30 years? Well, here are the knowns. They are proven historic facts. 98% of homeowners do not ever live in their home long enough to pay it off. 98% do not ever pay their homes off because they're always moving. Now, that may not seem all that important. What it means is you're always working for Johnny Banker or Johnny Investor or whatever you call him or her. But at the end of the day, the person responsible for keeping you in your home ultimately falls on you. The banker or investor has first rights to your home. Period. If you miss payments or you get too far behind, that would be 3 months worth of payments, you lose all of your investment. Your credit gets dinged, and in the end, you're back to square one as if you had never had a job before. What in the heck is so important about that? We're coming up on a huge housing market downturn. Many will panic and sell their homes to try to recoup some of the money, instead of holding through it and making out like a bandit in the end. This is why bankers and investors are rich people. Because your average home buyer has no effing clue how important it is to understand house prices will go up and they will go down. The reason all of this is important and critical is because if you buy a house at $112,500 and they say, hey, we want 20% down. Okay, well, that's $22,500. So your amount that you think you're agreeing to pay is $90,000. What it will wind up being is $180,000 that you pay Johnny Banker on top of the $22,500. So you're really on a $112,500 home paying him $200. Let's see here. $202,500. Not $112,500. That is critical information to remember as to why loans are a terrible idea. Not only that, the the loan, the lender is going to make you, for the protection of his own finances, get insurance on the loan itself. It's called loan insurance. And he also is going to mandate, in most cases, that you have homeowners insurance. So you're really on the same investment having two totally different types of insurance. And usually it's the lender's buddy that makes a lot of money too. It may not sound like a big deal having $100 a month tacked onto your loan and trusting your banker to pay his buddy the $100. Well, 100 times 360 is $36,000. So now you're up to $238,500. But we're not done there. We're far from it. Let's say you have to have homeowners insurance as part of the contract in general. So you've got homeowners insurance at, we'll keep the math pretty dadgum simple, another $100 a month. So now you're up to over $250,000 to pay your home off. A lot of bankers, a lot of lenders will charge you a fee to pay more than the minimum payment because they want to get that full money in that they wanted from the start, and they wrote it in the contract, and you were stupid enough to agree to the terms with the idiot who's really a genius at lining his pockets. Now, y'all might be wondering why I'm talking with you about this. Well, have any of you heard of the housing collapse of the 1970s? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to that around the corner. Now is honestly a terrible time to buy a home. Now is honestly a terrible time to have a really big home in general. If you do want to sell your home and buy another one, now is the time to downsize. So those 68 viewers who watched this video and put me into monetization and leave me a good comment down there, thank you all for recognizing that I know what the hell I'm doing and talking about and explaining to you. Now, let's dive a little deeper into this topic. You may not see it, but you will when it happens, because it's going to happen. Go look at the pricing. Go look at the market of the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, and even into the 70s. When you buy a home when the market is low, you need to keep that home as long as possible. You could rent it out, but then you've got taxation on that. Your other option is you hunker down and you work. Not only at your day job, but you work on the home itself with your own blood, sweat, and tears, getting slivers and stuff like that, updating and upgrading the home that you bought when the market was high, while you live in the home you bought when the market was low. Then you move back into the home that you bought when the market was high, and you fix the home you bought when the market was low. You upgrade it, do whatever you want to it, make it your own. The market comes up, that's when you make your decision. Which home do I like better? But it's not just waiting for it to start to come back up. You have to wait for it to come back high enough to where it quits climbing. You might be looking at the housing market for 8 years, and on the 8th year you see, hey, it's quit climbing. But really, it might be just a little more fluctuation for a while. I can explain how the market works like this. So down here is your buyer's market. It's going to climb up, climb down, climb up, climb down, climb up, climb down, climb up, climb down, right? And it's going to come down on this side, right? And we're going to continue it off on this hand. Here, it's going to be way down here. It's going to come back up, come down, come up, come down. Well, it's not necessarily going to be what you think it's going to be in general. So the housing market is not controlled by buyers and sellers. It's controlled by rich people buying up all the homes and hoarding them for themselves. This may not seem like a big deal, but you got to keep an eye on the knowns and the unknowns. You need to know what that house is worth right now, and you have to understand you have to be looking at homes all over the area, making sure to keep eyes on homes that are not even being upgraded, that are stick-built homes. And when those prices are above, come back up above where they were before the housing market collapse, you need to be smart. You need to bury your nose to the grindstone and keep your ass working. Keep paying on your mortgage. It will pay off in the long run. But when you buy that second home, you need to have piled cash aside and been paying off your debt before the market crashes, like it is very quickly getting ready to do. My humble opinion is it's only 3 years off at most before the market just falls out. So people who have a home that are 2 years away from paying it off and wanting to sell it and upgrade to a different situation, if the markets collapse the day after you sell your home, you're a freaking genius. If they don't, you're an idiot. In general, it rarely works out that damn well. I've only met 2 people in my entire life that could pull that one off in general. Donald Trump and my dad. We're not going to go into those 2 in general. We're not talking politics, we're talking finances. So in summary or summation, depending on how old school you are, what we have learned today, hopefully by now in the video, is mortgages do not line your pockets at all. They do not gain you investments. They line a lender's pockets. So what you need to do as a take home, as part of your homework, is pay off your debts in accordance with, you guessed it, Dave Ramsey. Now, I'm not saying a word as to any of that, but what I will say, I have 2 of his books, and they are helpful. So, now that you know what you need to do, you've got your homework. Go buy some Dave Ramsey books, pay off your debts, and get ready to cash in when the market's right, so that you can put your chips on the table and make out like a bandit. Generally speaking, you need to sell off things that are expensive that you don't need. Let's face it, you can make the same kind of memories on a rowboat as you can a small, personally owned yacht and save a crap ton of money. There you have it, folks. Downgrade from your BMWs, which I respect those of you who choose a quality vehicle, and jump into an air-cooled Volkswagen and get your crap paid off, people. Thank you all for watching, and to the 60-some viewers that are going to watch this video and be phenomenally happy with my advice in the long run, or may have already struck a chord with, thank you. And if all of you could do due justice and due diligence, please rate, subscribe, ring that bell, select all, and stay tuned for more information about how all of this plays any role in technology. And I'm going to give you a hint. Technology itself is expensive to develop and invest in. Until next time, get your finances in check, strap in, and get ready for some really awesome stuff to come. Catch you in another one.